TempahZone.
How's it going, everybody? Wherever you listen to this podcast right here, episode 85 of the TempahZone podcast. We back, all right? Well, I was off for a month. I'm busy, man. I had a busy December, all right? So I had to take a little bit of a hiatus. So anybody who's a content creator, you totally understand where these things come from. As somebody who is an artist, a podcaster, and works a 9 to 5 recently, and I'll keep it a buck with you. I ain't got nothing to hide. It's busy. So I had to, take back a little time off the podcast just to get myself acclimated and everything I was doing. And now we back, baby. We're going to come back with an episode for y'all every Thursday. That's going to be the game plan. We're going to stick to that. Consistency was on my New Year's resolution for 2021. Another thing to start off 2021. Who else to have on the episode? None other than Alex Cobra. Got Alex Cobra in the building with me. Third time on the show. Love having you on, man. How's it going, dog?
I'm doing well. Yeah, I gotta say, it's comeback season. Hashtag comeback season. That's exactly. I think
2021's the year for the comeback, man. That's definitely. I feel that, especially with the way
I think
2020 was, man.
You know how like every year it's like year of the rabbit, year of the dog. This is year of the comeback.
Yes,
that is what it is.
It's a new animal. They ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, it's a new animal. It's an alien.
Yeah, it's an alien. It's a little different though. We'll count it for this one, man. Right. Oh man, but yo, man, we're in a new year, 2021. Are you feeling any optimism, anything that feels like something new and different about to come for this year that's going to be good? How you feeling going into the year? Be honest with me, because I think everybody feels some type of way about 2021 after the year we had before.
Right. Yeah. Behind this false smile, yeah, there's some doubt. I mean, it's only, to me, whatever this new decade is, or whatever the second part of this decade is going to be, I always feel a bit like optimistic, but then something happens like March or May, like between March and May, and I feel like nothing's really like changed. And like with resolutions, I always try and stick to them. They're never. Anyone can say that. Yeah, my resolutions kind of died out after May, and I get that. But it's good to have a new outlook regardless, because, I kind of equate it to, flipping a new chapter in whatever story. And as corny as that may sound, I do believe in that kind of notion where, hey, whatever happened literally from January 1st to December 31st of 2020, you experience it, you own it, you adapt from it. And especially with how we've all been affected by, COVID, you gotta, I think now it means a lot more to have those kind of goals in place, especially when you're trying to work around a pandemic as nasty as this. So whatever form of entertainment I want to pursue, any sort of goal I want to accomplish, I want to try and remember 2020 really kept me a bit more grounded and humbled, to a point where, like, as soon as it was New Year's Day, January 1st, I was like, okay, this is it. This feels a little bit more better for me now than it was January 1st, 2020, when I was groggy as hell.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's who knows with what's been going on lately. How can we flip this new chapter? But I have my pen in hand and I'll write it the way I want to write it. So
I like that. I like that. Yeah. I like that outlook, man. And I think a new year can just give people the motivation they need to get what they got to get done. But not to sound like Gary Vee, but I'm going to sound like Gary Vee. You got to treat October 16th like you going to treat January 1st. You know what I'm saying? You got to treat July 12th like you got to treat January 1st. Like anything can get renewed and started at any time. You don't have to wait for the new year to make that happen. But I do get people that use the year as a way to use as a way for things to become a clean slate. I totally get it, and I will not knock anybody for it, because everybody has their own way of getting things done. But you got to remember that at the end of the day, just because it's a new year don't mean everything's just going to change magically. Like, you got to put in the effort still. It ain't going to get itself done, you know what I mean? But
yeah,
the year can give you that motivation to really do it. It's just all about staying consistent with it and making sure that you follow through with what you said. And everybody has their own ways of making sure that they stay on top of the things they do. So it's up to you to definitely find that. I definitely, try to make sure I just set reminders. I just put reminders up places like do that. Make sure you get that done. So it's in my face. So everyone's their own ways.
In the words of my 88-year-old grandmother, be true to yourself. And anyone's probably heard this. It's a very common phrase.
Cliche sayings they live forever for a reason. They have that weight to it.
They do have meaning. It's not just something stupid that you put on a piece of paper.
No.
And I've struggled with that. I mean, I've struggled with I've lied to myself and I've deceived myself in ways that hey, that donut is not going to hurt you, hey, hitting that pedestrian is not going to give you any problems. Not like that.
Yeah.
But you really, it's a struggle with yourself. It's a struggle with life. You think it's you against the world. It's also you against yourself sometimes, because you could be conflicted in ways that you can't.
Sometimes your biggest enemy is yourself.
Right. And if you self-destruct like that, you're going to, and I've been watching a little bit of Star Wars these last couple of days, so I'm sorry for being cliche. You're going to turn into Anakin Skywalker. You're going to morph into Darth Vader, and sure enough, you're going to be,
look what you
chaotic.
became. Yeah, it's like look what you became. Look how you started, and look where you at now. Like,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Looking back, I think the one promise that I've made to myself recently that I've been kind of seeing in dividends was back in October of 2019. I said, I'm going to grow my hair out. And, sure enough, it's January 2021, and I have not gotten a haircut since that day in October. And, it's something, it's not like there's a huge difference of, I didn't gain superpowers. I didn't.
Man. Hey, there's some.
But I feel pretty
going
good.
Out here is something liberating to it. There's definitely a power thing to it, man. I mean, I got the Rastafarian flag up here. And Rastafarians, the power's in the hair. They grow out their hair whole life, beard whole life, nothing to get touched. So I think there's definitely something to growing out your hair, and especially for men, because I think nowadays, we as men, we think of corporate America and how they look at hairstyles. Keep it short, look professional. So when we grow out the hair, it almost feels like we're on some I want to do what I want type of thing. So I think there is something to growing out the hair, man, that can, just stem into just however else you're doing and feeling. So I think it's definitely something worth mentioning, man. I see you with the hair, bro. I see you, man. I like it, bro. I like it.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, man.
I'm going for the Mel Gibson approach and Lethal Weapon without the anti-Semitism.
Without the
I also just feel like I was always like my mom would take me when I was younger, every month to get a haircut. I'm 23 now, so it's like she doesn't need to hold my hand to take me to the supercuts.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like at the same time I was like, I'm going through a routine. Every month I get a haircut. I've usually have had problems with wanting my hair a bit longer to cover, some of my just my head, because I looked kind of weird with my shorter hair. And you saw me months or 2 years ago when we first did an episode, or a year ago. Yep. And how short my hair was, right?
It was short. Yeah. Right. That's so true.
To me, I kind of equated it to I was wearing some weird short mini skirt of a hairpiece. Now I'm wearing fucking woolen pants, and I look. One of my coworkers called me Chewbacca. And I think my other coworker, my manager said I looked like Jesus if McDonald's was built around the time of the resurrection. Which I had to put two and two together to realize what the hell he was saying.
God damn! And then I realized you had to get back at him after that one, man.
I was like,
with that slot.
I was like, thanks. How do
there was no warning before he said that. It was just he just hit you with it.
Do I hit him?
Yeah.
Do I applaud him? So
right. I do. What do we do here?
It was nothing by it.
Can we take this outside?
Right. Do I clock him? Do I clock out? Do I quit? What do I do? So, no, I let it go. It's something like that. I kind of will say that was kind of clever.
He's got to
But
let
at
it
this-
slide, brush it off,
Sure.
man.
I mean, if he was gonna like insult my like family, then yeah, I'd totally vibe. check him.
Yeah, no,
He's a cool enough guy. Like
Yeah.
he's a cool enough guy where I can let something like that slide. And I'm always good to a funny joke. So like, you know, and people who do know me pretty personally, I laugh my ass off at anything. I mean,
You got to be able to laugh at make jokes about yourself, man.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? I feel
if
like,
you take yourself too seriously, it's gonna be pretty awkward at times.
oh yeah, oh dude, you have to move. There's a yin and yang to it. There's a great balance to it because while some people want to be taken seriously at all times, there's gonna be a point where it's too late to back away, and then people are just looking at you funny. And then
Right.
when you're too funny at times, when you're actually being serious, it's like you almost creep people out because it's like, oh shoot, like where did this all come from? I feel like, so you gotta, you know, find a balance to it because we're all human. We all feel different emotions at times, and we might contradict ourselves at certain times. So at the end of the day, you just gotta make sure that you understand yourself and not take things so personally and seriously, and remember how other people operate. You know, a lot of people are very, very particular when it comes to humor and comedy, so they're a lot more liberated with it than other people. So I mean, you can see that nowadays how people treat comedy. I mean,
yeah.
but yeah,
That's like on the run. Yeah.
yeah. But I mean, but not to digress too much. You're definitely seeing comedy just turn back to, you know, just being, you know, not giving a shit and people just doing, you know, saying whatever. You can find whatever you want nowadays. Is what I'm saying. I think comedy has reached this reassurance and resurgence, not reassurance, but that too. But it's definitely has come back in different facets that anybody can enjoy now. So
yeah, no, totally. I've seen it in various other forms too. You know, like hip hop, soul, you know, just music or wrestling in terms too, with my obsession there. And
no, I mean, it all ties together. It's at the end of the day, it's all entertainment, you know. So at the end of the day, it's going to you know, all resonate in some similar way. So definitely, man, definitely. I definitely have to address what we're both wearing. I ain't wearing nothing crazy. It's just this, but what you're wearing belongs to what is MF Doom. His collection of clothing. Obviously, if you are a fan of hip hop, you know what happened. On December 31st, it was announced that MF Doom had passed. He passed on Halloween. They announced it 2 months after. And I remember people were like, "Oh, typo on the thing." It's like, nah, like family waited a bit. But I when I heard that, I had a bunch of people text me, and it just goes to show, obviously the impact he had. But MF Doom was never mainstream. Furthest from it. The villain against it. He couldn't be any more underground, and the fact that he had the effect that he did on the game, I mean, it is we may never see anything like it again because the world we live in. But I just, you know, I'll say it before I ask you, but you know, when it came to MF Doom, how much of a fan was I? I was a fan, but for the same reason why I'm a fan of A$AP Rock, because it was on some like, yo, this dude is extremely lyrical. Like, holy crap, I gotta like sit down and really, you know, take this in and not miss a word. But I never really listened to everything he had, and I'll be honest with you. After I heard his passing, I was very sad about that. That I never gave him that time, because I saw the reception from the people who were fans, and it made me go, damn, like, how did I not give him any time? And I think it had to do with the fact because of his undergroundness. It was never really in my face like that. And I hate that it took all this for me to go, damn, I need to see, you know, to listen to this. And I spent the whole day yesterday listening to a 40-track playlist of MF Doom. And it was a 2-hour playlist. I listened to that thing from front to back. No breaks. Like, I've never done that with any artist. Like,
Sure.
I've never done that before. 40 tracks in a row, just bam, like this is amazing. Everything. Like what it made me feel bad because I knew a few MF Doom tracks. Like
Sure.
Mad Villainy was is a classic. Food is a classic. Like, I heard of those projects, but everything else, I like the Victor Vaughn and like I didn't know. Yeah. I didn't know all these side characters. It blew my mind, man. Danger Doom. Like, I heard of Danger Doom because he had some big features on the project. I knew he did a song with Gorillaz, but like to hear it all, man, it blew my mind. And I want to just say to anybody who's into rap, who loves the bars, if you've never given that time, do it now. Give this man his, listen to this man's music. And I just want to say, like, RIP to a legend and arguably one of the greatest rappers of all time, man.
There's no doubt about that.
It's just, he's one of the greatest of all time. I know there's no way to put it. There's really no way to put it, man. And as someone who was a fan like you were, I want to ask you, man, I mean, where did you heard the news, damn, man. Where did you hear it?
I was just coming home from work. I was taking out the trash and I went upstairs, and my friend Nick from UMaine sent me a post from Instagram, and the first thing I saw was his response to me going, WTF, holy crap, da 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 da. And it said MF Doom 1971 to 2020. I went, no, hold on. And I had to like look at the link, then went straight to his Instagram and looked at that last post of his wife putting.
I had to do the same thing because I couldn't believe it. I thought it was like some little joke he made, because MF Doom in the past had like imposters. He had imposters at his shows. I mean, like the dude is. I mean,
Hannibal Buress at one point.
Yeah, like the dude did some stuff like that. So a lot of people were like, this has to be something that Doom's doing. So
maybe like a new album, yeah. But I knew it was serious when his wife put it on.
Yeah,
and the fact that she said transitioned October 31st, 2020. That's what got me, was the fact that I was at my buddy's house at Halloween, not knowing MF Doom passed that night, and it wasn't like, I've lost family members that I've gotten on my knees and, bawled my eyes over. But with him, I like did that like classic, like sit back, like I can't believe it in my chair, like thousand thoughts running through my head. And then I went on Twitter, which is just a wasteland sometimes. But I saw someone post RIP Doom, but ... But I have to say, him dying on Halloween and none of us knowing till 2 months later is the doom-ish shit I've ever heard.
He's so right though. He's so right. Yeah.
And I didn't let it ruin my New Year's Eve. I hope he was surrounded by his family. I hope he was surrounded by his friends. I hope Madlib was next to him when that happened. We still don't. I know for a fact
it's unknown. They haven't put it up.
I think they kept it very private, to the point where I don't even think it was like, I think it was just at his home. Like, I don't think any doctors were around or anything. People say it's COVID, but that's anything these days. I mean,
related to COVID because of,
but I think
conditions.
I think he might have had, I remember hearing some interview about something that he might have had some sort of like respiratory thing, or he might have had some other disease. So it might have been something from that, but I'm not going to sit and wonder what happened to him. It
doesn't matter. Yeah.
Think about it. But the thing that gets me was my friend Nick that had told me everything. He was devastated because I got him into Doom 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. But I got to give credit to Dre Bummy, who Andre Glover.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He's the biggest in my connections of people. He's the biggest Doom fan I've ever met. Mm-hmm. And as soon as I saw when Doom died, I went to Doom's page and then I went to Andre's page, and his story was just posted. Fuck 2020. Like, yeah. And I felt terrible because I texted him. I was like, hey man, I'm like, this sucks. I'm so sorry. Like 2020 is a huge see you next Tuesday. And, we had a conversation about it, but I told him, my friend Nick just told me that he said thank you to me for introducing him to Doom, but I got to give props to you because he was the one that got me into Doom.
Yeah.
I had heard of Doom through Adult Swim, say 2006, 2007. But Andre told me to really listen to Food. So I did, probably sophomore year of college. So that was like 2017, early 2017. And like you said, that 40 track playlist, I listened to Food on repeat and then repeat, shuffle,
fire.
Repeat, like
just fire.
And I was like, this came out 18 to 20 years ago. Like, you got to be kidding me! This sounds like it came out 2 months ago. Because of how fresh it was.
And yo, dude, it's so freaking true, man. When I was listening to all that, I was like, this is timeless rap. This shit ain't never gonna die. The bars, man, the freaking bars. I couldn't believe it, man. I mean, that's the type of shit that gets me insanely motivated when I hear someone rapping that deeply with bars. I'm like, ugh, like, yeah, like it can get that crazy with the bars, because I think I impress myself sometimes with shit I do as a rapper. But when you hear this shit I'm doing, it's like, how the hell did you?
Right.
What? Like, you know what I mean? Like, just the wording, everything, like just this, everything, every single thing, from the names of his songs to the characters he would choose and how he just everything, man. It's just takes music to another level. It really does.
Sure, to even the samples. I mean,
oh yeah, the samples are some other shit. I mean, coming out of nowhere and then coming back with the beat, and I like that too, which artists don't do nowadays. They let the beat ride. I like that. I like letting the beat ride, and MF Doom did that a shit ton. And I appreciate that.
And what I love the most about the man was, like, he was truly like an artist, you know. And I'm not trying to be corny about it. It's just like he's
as artist as it gets. Forms. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, come on.
He rapped. He produced. I mean, he produced a good amount of his beats, which is kind of ironic to the point where Madvillain, he gets a lot more recognition than Food, where it was all Madlib that had worked on that. So it's kind of ironic that you see that.
Yeah.
But some of my favorite Doom songs from Food have nothing to do with the wordplay. It's more of the instrumental. It's more of the vibe that it brings. Even his Special Herbs and Spices albums, where it's just all beat tapes. There's some great stuff that I've like used as like homework music and just
had that playing in the background.
And most of them are different names of some of his more popular songs. Like, I think the actual Doomsday song that was one of his first popular songs from Operation Doomsday was a different titled beat on this Special Herbs and Spices. So it's like he definitely used them for other projects before, or he just renamed it to give that kind of vibe because he's the villain.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like,
the masked villain,
which I love the most. You know, you see some of these rappers or some of these artists, they're treated as like a hero. They're treated as, you know, the
savior of the game. Yeah, I mean, literally, people have said like, he's gonna save the rap game. This guy is the savior. Yeah, he's really gonna revive the game back.
And Doom just flips that on its head, and he makes you feel different.
To the point where it's insane, man. And he did a great interview. I think it was done through like a Red Bull company back
Red Bull Spanish. It was in Spain. I think it was Madrid. I know exactly what you're talking about.
In that
hour-long interview.
In the interview, and he explains why he wore the mask. He saw how the industry was going. He realized that it became more about the artist and not the music. Because back in the day, you didn't see what the artists looked like. You wouldn't know until you went to the show. And so now what the game has become, it's literally the face first and then the music. And MF Doom saw that and said, no more of that. We're going to put this mask on because I want the art to stand out first. And that is so freaking hard to do. That is it's so much easier said than done with that. And I think as artists, we aspire to do things like that, but damn near no one, it's damn near impossible to pull something off like that. And it takes a true person. So it takes someone who's really dedicated to their craft and devoted to that type of life. And you got to be about it too, because MF Doom was truly about not you knowing who he was as the person, you know, the guy who he is. Outside of hip hop, just, you know, it was all about the music, and you're gonna get that, and it is what it is. And
his marketing,
amazing about that.
His marketing for sure has a genius to it as well. I mean, This is from a different site that I didn't get it off his actual site. But the genius behind the fact that he's literally selling the mask, he's selling a mask, he's selling hats with the mask, he's selling coffee mugs with the mask. If I think it was, I don't know if it was in the same interview or if it was a different interview that I read or heard, but he said, when I was crafting this whole persona, he's like, I saw 6 other black artists, like black rappers, who kind of look like me. I mean, it wasn't like he was saying like Nas looks like him or Mos Def looks like him. He was like
dressed the same,
right.
it's like,
and it's just their face. He's like, what kind of idiot am I that I'm not going to put a mask on myself because that's going to stand out? He's like, you didn't see Biggie wear a mask, you didn't see Pac wear a mask. I'm going to stand out, and he did it, and he's successful with it to the point where he didn't need the mainstream success.
He didn't need it
to
at
help
all.
recognize
Not even
himself.
Yeah. He didn't need it at all.
Right. And if
people came to him because they were like, "Oh, this is some rap shit. Like, you ain't ain't even putting choruses and hooks and shit, and there ain't no regular structure. It ain't
it's down and dirty.
Yeah, chorus, verse, outro. This shit is just start off with the beat and drums, everything, and then he just starts rapping for 2 minutes. Song over, bang.
Yeah.
Like,
and
that's the song. Yeah.
Right. It like, hearing Rap Snitch Knishes the first time, that was probably my favorite experience of hearing that song, because you still don't know who Mr. Fantastic is.
Yeah, who the hell?
Which is a great mystery.
I saw a bunch of people like, I hope he's doing well. Like, it's like,
right. And
like, who is this guy? He's spitting like
right. Some people have claimed that it was when MF Doom started out with KMD, that he started with his brother, and he thinks it's the third. People think that it's the third guy that was in KMD.
Oh, okay.
Because they say he kind of sounds familiar like him, or they're thinking.
And he was not. For anyone who's clear, he was not MF Doom in this group. He was like another name, like completely different name.
Yeah, he went by a different name because his real name is Daniel DeMille, I think.
Yeah.
And he was born in London, which is interesting. Born in the United Kingdom, and so they think Mr. Fantastic is the third member. I forget his name. They think it's, someone said it sounds like a toned down Madlib, but Madlib has kind of claimed he cannot rap to save himself.
Yeah.
He's more of a beat maker. And then someone else was like, it was probably some like guy he met in like the back streets of Harlem who was doing like some good rapping, like it was like, it's probably some random guy off the street because he's the villain. Like he doesn't need to, he didn't at that time, 2003, he could have grabbed, like 50, if he was a mainstream artist, he could have grabbed who the hottest rapper in the world was, who, probably at the time was like Snoop, 50, Dre, anyone, he could have grabbed anyone, but he grabbed this literally unknown guy named Mr. Fantastic, who has a better verse in that song than Doom himself, which says something. So, and it's just the world itself that he created, and very comic book influences. He kind of crossed those kind of borders over, where back then rappers were just mostly doing sports references, movie references. He was taking it further with comic book, pop culture, anything really, and making something special and unique about it. Then Madvillain, he came in and it just made him, a top 5 artist of all time.
Yeah, I think that, off of that just cemented him in stone. I mean, the fact that Mos Def, he said when he bought Madvillainy, he just bought the cover. He didn't even he bought it on vinyl. He didn't even own it. He just went to look at the cover. It's like, how good your music has to be and how ill you have to be for like another artist to treat you as such. That's, come on, man. Like I hearing that type of shit, you gotta understand just how hard this dude goes.
Yeah.
And I truly think it's something beautiful to have that mystery to who you really are, and to be so dope at the same time. It's something that you don't see too often, and it's the same reasons why people appreciate someone like a Kendrick or The Weeknd. Like, even these guys aren't even nearly as mysterious because they are, The Weeknd's called Abel. Like, everyone doesn't even call, like, so like people are aware of who he really is and all that stuff, and they're open with it. Maybe Kendrick not so much on social media, but like MF Doom, I mean, the dude just he put the mask on and the rest is history. You know what I'm saying? And I think that is just something so amazing to see, because it's like if anyone tries to, like, no one can wear a mask again in hip hop.
Yeah, and
it's like, who can do this? No, you can't recreate this. This is
right.
This is
could maybe
one of a kind.
it. You could try. I might go and say, there could be some artists one day, 1 year, that might adapt it into something where it makes them their own.
Yeah.
But you can't omit MF Doom from that kind of precursor, and one thing I'll after a couple days of it registering, the fact that he was dead for 2 months, we didn't know about it. I could have used that time. If we did hear about it Halloween, I would have definitely been listening to his music a lot more this year than I've had in previous years. But I think the very, and I'm getting kind of emotional. I think what really makes me a bit happy is the fact that his fingerprints are still all over rap right now.
Oh my God.
He literally had 2 bastard kids, Tyler and Earl.
Yeah.
And he's paved the way for Denzel Curry. He's paved the way for
JPEG Mafia.
Oh, hell, I'll even go further and say he definitely inspired Gorillaz. I mean, not Gorillaz, Czarface.
Yeah.
No pun intended. He definitely put the blueprint there.
Yeah.
And his music is still going to be talked about. I mean, I have the Mad Villainy vinyl. I got it back in like July. And I think his work with Madlib has helped elevate Madlib a bit higher. I mean, Madlib worked with Freddie Gibbs. And
look at that project. Yeah, look at that project. And now people are going to go back. Like, what else has this guy and Madlib done?
Right.
Oh, God. If you've never heard Mad Villainy, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you go. Have a field day with this project.
And I think I saw this other tweet probably about a day or two later. I think it was this morning, actually. Yeah, this morning. It said, if only heaven could release albums, because Dilla Doom would be the best fucking album of all time.
Oh my God.
With Jay Dilla. That would have, which is kind of sad because Dilla was way ahead of his time too.
Oh my God. Yeah, for sure. I mean,
and I actually, speaking of which, I Donuts, obviously. Someone actually made like a kind of a weird cut of Doom Nuts, as they call it, and it was like they took verses from MF Doom and put it over Jay Dilla beats, and it actually wasn't that bad. The way they spliced it was kind of weird, but it was probably just some fan who just cut it together
as best as just did what he could.
But it kind of works because Dilla could definitely work in a Doom style
for sure. Most definitely. Yeah,
right. It was just what's great is like I kind of feel bad when people compare Madlib to Dilla. It's like, well, Dilla left, now we're stuck with Madlib. No, Dilla left. Thank God we have Madlib.
I don't know. It's like
I'm grateful he's there.
Yeah, that's such a good way to put it, man. I think if people had that perspective, they'd put some more respect on the ones who are here giving us this sound, because it's truly something special, man. And I really feel like we could continue to talk about MF Doom.
Sure.
But I want to just cap off the topic and just saying, once again, to anyone in the rap game, and I know there's people out there because I'm one myself who didn't hear a lot of MF Doom when he was here. If you are not privy to all this dude's music, listen to everything. If you say you care about them bars, you say you love that real rap shit, listen to Doom. RP MF Doom, man. One of the greatest of all time.
Got more lyrics than the church got Ooh Lords.
Oh my God.
That's my all-time favorite.
And make sure
line.
You put it in all caps. Put that shit in all caps.
Just remember all caps when you spell the man name.
Yes. See, you guys lyrics now. Yeah, you got me on that, man.
I hope whoever makes his gravestone puts it in all caps, because if they don't, watch out.
The fans are coming.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I think the last thing I could really
Yeah,
put a
man.
period on this because, like you
Yes,
said,
for sure.
we could go another 2 hours on this
Literally,
subject.
absolutely.
I wrote an article about how MF Doom has helped influence me as an artist about 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It was my second article writing for the Odyssey, and looking back on it now, I've yet to look at it again. I haven't read it in about maybe a year and a half. I'm definitely gonna reread it and maybe write, for a personal piece for me, like on my Google, how that's still in place, because I've kind of taken a lot of his influence and tried to make it my own. I mean, you have me, Alex Cobra, you have Shake and Jake,
Yeah.
you have Jake the Snake, you have, I love to sing. I know I can't rap to save my ass. I know you've said before you think me rapping would be very interesting to see.
I've always pushed it a little bit, just a little, not too
Right.
much. I've always thrown it out there.
whatever universe I've wanted to create with my music and just in general, whatever my first big paycheck's going to be, whatever my first big, hit's going to be, I'm definitely dedicating it to MF Doom. Which is going to sound weird coming out of right field. How is an R&B singer going to credit MF Doom?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how I am. I love the hell out of the guy. I felt bad that I only really started listening to him about 3-4 years ago. And again, I got to give credit to Dre Bummy. He really told me, hey, you got to listen to him. Don't just talk about it. Just listen to him and don't worry. Because at the time, I was just like, I don't understand this. And then a month later, I was like, let me give it another try. And then that's when it kicked up. I was like, I understand it now. Mm-hmm. So, I never met him. I wish I did. I think we all wish we did, because people said he was a really chill guy. And even seeing him when he performed at the Odd Future Fest.
Yeah, when he saw Tyler and Earl, he was very, very humble guy. Yeah.
I've never seen Tyler and Earl act like kids like that, wholeheartedly, and not for like a skit.
No, genuine awe of this guy. I mean,
and like I said, his influence is still there. There's a ton of artists that came out and gave credit to him on Twitter. Those artists are as close as we're gonna get to Doom nowadays. So I'm glad that his influence is still there.
Yeah. RP Doom, man. There's no easy way to transition to it, but obviously, while we have more to address, I definitely want to talk about the top 20, the top albums from 2020. Not top 20. I did not choose 20. I only had 3 because I felt like 3 would really sum up the albums that I really messed with and vibed with. And I do have to tie this back to MF Doom. I can't help it right now, but my first project this year, the project this year I really loved was Alfredo with Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist, and I really feel it's that type of vibe that they're doing that MF Doom was about, and where it's just like these unique beats with this airiness to it and that vibe to it that's standing out from the contemporary rap. And these guys, and then just spitting that real shit over it. And I really think 2020 was a great year for that type of style, because there ain't nobody going out nowhere. Nobody's going to the clubs and bars like that right now, unless you're in Florida or Texas or ATLs. But I really feel like the songs with the bars and that different feel for me personally just stuck out and just went hard. And so Freddie Gibbs and Alchemist Alfredo's number 1 for me. Number 2,
wasn't that a surprise drop too?
Yes, I think so.
It came out like March, didn't it? Something like
it came out way in the beginning of 2020, but I remember when that shit dropped, I was like, yo, I didn't need to hear social media confirm it for me, but I knew from my side, I was like, yo, Freddie Gibbs just shitted on the game with this project. Yeah. I was like this is the type of shit that makes me go like, I want to just start rapping again. Like, I mean, like it's the type of shit where you hear like, you don't even want to like do singing anymore. Like that's how good the rapping is on it. And I really feel like that's just something dope to see, man. And my number 2 favorite project of this year is another album like that made me go like, damn, I just want to rap now. I just want is Benny the Butcher, Burden of Proof. I like I say the same thing I feel about this project as I do about Alfredo. But just the fact that bars like this are just coming back to the forefront, man, and and it's just more popular. As someone, for me, at the age of 15, who is solely about bars and not singing, I love this shit, man. I really love seeing it and people being more appreciative of it than ever before. I have never seen nothing like this from people who are fans of the rap the way I am. And then my number 3 favorite project, I should have went 3, 2, 1, but I went 1, 2, 3. But who cares? It's Kid Cudi. Man on the Moon 3, and that dropped at the very end of the year, and I was like, do I give this the number 3? And I'm like, I'm gonna give this the number 3 best.
I was gonna say that too. That's my number 3.
Hey man, and I just really feel Kid Cudi did this on purpose. He's like, he knew we had something great. I'm gonna drop this at the end of the year for y'all, and I truly love this project. It makes me realize why I love the rap so much, because this is considered rap, but at the same time, like, Kid Cudi is genre bending so hard here, and I love the genre benders, man. I love St. John. I love Don Toliver. I love 070 Shake. Like, these are people who are considered rap, but it's like, come on now, they're doing some R&B alternative type stuff here, and I really love Kid Cudi doing that. And another thing too about Kid Cudi, he don't get the respect he deserves, man. I still don't think he gets the respect he deserves for being like a pioneer, like a T-Pain has, or Kanye, or Akon. Like, I really feel like he deserves his respect. So yeah, that's my top 3, man. Number 1, Alfredo. Number 2, Burden of Proof. Number 3, The Chosen. Man on the Moon 3, The Chosen.
I'll say this: anything that Cudi's gonna put out, people are gonna just bash, because it's not their style. It's not, they have expectation from him. They're still waiting for a Day and Night Part 2, and it's just not gonna happen. There's only so much you can do to recreate. There's only very little you can do to recreate that magic again. You got to give it time, and I mean, critics can go pound sand for all I care. Seeing The Chosen get a 6 out of 10 as an average, that's just, I feel like it's just someone had a grudge, because I think it's definitely an 8 out of 10. It's not entirely my style, but I will say the first Man on the Moon has a ton more exposition than it does in The Chosen, because we already know who Kid Cudi is, and by the 3rd album, so it's not like we're expecting him to start all over again. But like September 16th, that was a great song. I think that's one of my favorites.
That's a good one.
Of that. Even like just some of it's definitely a late night album. This is not something that I'm gonna wake up to. This is something I'm gonna.
It slaps way harder at night. Definitely an album for the nighttime. I remember playing it on the way to work, and I liked it, but I was like, I need to wait till later in the day for this. Let me get out after work when the sun's down. It's definitely fit a little bit better. This
is a clutch your pillow and light up a joint before bed.
Yeah, the first half goes hard. Yeah, the first half goes hard. I feel like the second half, it's like that's the late night like vibes. And it's hard to say what I like more from Cudi, because I love when he spits, but I do love when he does his humming and singing and bobbing melodies, and because he's really good at that too. But I love the versatility, man. I really feel like just that project, he had something to prove. I really feel like, and he knows, Man on the Moon 3, you can't fuck that up, bro. You gotta deliver that shit. You gotta deliver some fire.
Right, and he did. I will say that he did. Yeah. There were some songs that I was like, wow, he actually didn't pull punches on this. And his humming was, you could hear it in some of the songs. I think one of my favorite hums by him is Reborn. Off Kids See Ghosts. I think that's just fantastic.
That's a great hum.
Yeah, right.
Really is. He kills it on that one.
That's what his appeal is. When people think of Kid Cudi, they think of the humming, which is kind of ironic when you should remember him for his own uniqueness. I could say
his versatility. Yeah, that's what I've known him for.
Right. He has a Doom-esque kind of versatility and a Doom-esque kind of mentality where like he doesn't really need the mainstream to keep his name alive. I mean,
that Kid Cudi fan base is for real.
Right. And I think his rebirth was or his like resurgence was definitely when he was on Father Stretch My Hands. Because A lot of people didn't like Speed and Bolt to Heaven. I think there's some really good songs on that album. I'm one of the very few people you'll meet in life who actually appreciate Speed and Bolt to Heaven. But
I can't say the same. But I feel that.
Sure.
No, I feel you.
Because a lot of what Cudi is taking from is he grew up on a lot of rock. He grew up on a lot of grunge, and he grew up on all, he's not your typical prototype. Oh, he's black, so you must have just listened to R&B and rap all the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, he was definitely
being brought from
like
Kanye too. So yeah.
So.
No, I definitely feel you on that, man. I really feel like just what Kid Cudi's brought to the game, man. I think you can't deny what he's done. And I mean, even see like someone like a Travis Scott, what he's what he's doing is all inspirations and from the Kid Cudi tree.
Yeah,
like he got it, and he'll tell you that. And I think that's great. And I think that's why anyone who loves Travis Scott, you gotta love Kid Cudi. Like that's like, I mean, like,
yeah, he was the original Travis Scott. I'll say that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that as a dig at Travis. I like Travis, but without Kid Cudi, there's no Travis. Without Kid Cudi, there's definitely no what's his name? Logic. Because Logic, I feel like, has a kind of a similar kind of aspiration there. And even Pete Davidson,
in terms of albums, yes.
Yeah, and even Pete Davidson has claimed that Kid Cudi has been a very positive force in his life, and they're like best friends now.
Really?
So
wow.
Yeah, that was an interesting story.
Yeah.
Pete Davidson, who he himself has some mental health situations, as well as Kid Cudi, they're definitely cut from the same cloth, but they've grown into being good friends, which is nice to see. That it's not just, real recognizes real and that's it. No, they've real recognized real, and now both of the reals together are hanging out, and they're at Kanye's birthday party or whatever. And so, as I kind of think, the way the media and fan bases act, I feel like Kid Cudi, he doesn't deserve the kind of slander that I see. I know there's probably a lot more people out there who probably agree with me on this. It's just like, he's one of Kanye's proteges, as well as Chance. He's basically, Kanye's proteges are Kid Cudi, Chance, Big Sean, and now the fourth one just came to mind. I just had it.
What, Travis?
Travis.
Yeah.
And Kid Cudi just seems to, people kind of forget that he was basically Kanye's first real project. And his first real big break was Welcome to Heartbreak. So on 808s, I feel like he deserves a lot more credit than he gets. And I feel like Man on the Moon 3 definitely set forth that, like, regardless of what you people are going to say, I'm putting out what I want to put out. I'm not going to put out what you want.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, no one knows what we want as fans.
That's the realest shit, man. It's the realest shit of all time, man.
So,
we never know. Like, even as the artists, as well, we know shit like from our favorite artists. Like, we don't know what we want from them until they put it out and give it to us and show us.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So Man on the Moon 3 for me is my number 3.
Yeah. You do your, make sure you get it in order.
My number 2 is definitely this is going to be kind of out of left field. I think you and we talked about this artist, Yves Tumor, back when we did the first Bin Bumpin' episode. He is, for those who don't know, he's a genre bender, but you don't know what genre he's really been in.
Whole time I was like, what's going on?
I don't know how to put it, but I'm going to read off this YouTube comment on one of his YouTube videos. His like genre sounds a bit Prince, but his visuals and his music videos are Marilyn Manson. He has like an R&B grunge soul aspect to him where
that's insane.
It's interesting. And the project that came out this year, Heaven to a Tortured Mind, has some really good stuff on it. I played Gospel for a New Century for you. Holy crap, that song is my 2020 anthem.
Mm-hmm.
I love that song.
I remember that one.
That was, it's one of the first songs that, like, being a wrestling fan, that is a song that I want to see on a wrestling promo package promoting a match. Because there's some really good beat drops that match up perfectly with like an elbow to the face, a super kick. I just want that song on the next WWE pay-per-view promo. It's because it's so good.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But he's got such a uniqueness to him that I love about a lot of these artists, because he goes from Gospel to a New Century, which is high octane, big boom boom, to a very sultry R&B song called Kerosene with an exclamation point at the end. This album literally is like a roller coaster that you seriously don't want to end. So I liked Heaven to a Tortured Mind very much, especially with that first song, Gospel for a New Century. Love that song. That's the first song that I'd want to be a person that I could meet in real life. And I think my number one, it's pretty obvious. It's Brent Faiyaz's "Fuck the World."
That's a dope album, man. That's a really dope album. And I gotta give that another listen. I gave that one time through, and I came out with two songs that I really was vibing with. But I gotta give it another listen again, because I know a bunch of people. I think this was a good year for him, and to set his name down. Like, y'all put some, pronounce my last name right. All right, it's Faiyaz, Brent Faiyaz. You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people like putting respect on him like that. And I think this it made sure that I've heard people butcher his last name, so
it's weird. Yeah, but that album, you and I talked about it when it came out. I think it's technically an EP. He says it's an EP, but it's a total album. It's got 10 songs.
Yeah,
for me, an album is a project with 10 plus songs.
Even
an EP is like 6 or 7. You know what I mean?
6, 7, 8 max. Like, you can't have no more than an EP.
Exactly. And only one of the songs is like kind of a skit interlude. But Fuck the World, the original song that came out Summer in London in last 2019 summer, that was my anthem. I love that song. And then when the project got announced, I was really hyped because we're getting new Brent music. And he just knocked it out of the park for me. I mean, from that song to Winter in Paris, Rehab, Winter in Paris, to Let Me Know, which is my favorite song.
Let Me Know.
You told me when, because I was at work, and you said, "Hey, I listened to the album. Definitely give Let Me Know it a listen." I was like, "Oh, okay."
I said that to like 3 people. I was like, "Yo, y'all gotta hear this shit, man." Like, I said to all the people I knew, I said to the people I knew who really vibe R&B the same way I do, kinda, and I just send that one to them. You know what I mean?
And I even posted that on. I did a cover. I did like a 20-second cover of that song on the Brent Faiyaz subreddit, and it got like 45, 50 upvotes on it, which I'm pretty proud of. It's a very small subreddit, so you can't really. I wasn't expecting 6 million or
but still,
6K, whatever.
You're going right to the people who are gonna care about it. So.
And I mean, it's just like, how in the hell can I possibly love someone else? Just like. That spoke to me. Like, I really like that song.
He got really, really good lyrics, and I really feel 2020. It might just be me. I mean, I'm always about the lyrics, but I feel like I was like extra about lyrics and what artists were talking about in their songs. Because I mean, your projects and my project that we chose, the lyrics are there. Like, there's nothing in these projects that just like go hard albums, and there's nothing wrong with anything like that, but. Those tend to not be in people's top 5, top 10 projects of the year. I just don't see it too often. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
unless that is your vibe and that's what you're going with. But
my original number 3. My original number 3 before Man the Moon came out was definitely a tie between 1988, The Beat Tape by Knowledge, and it. Thundercats album, It Is What It Is.
Yeah, that was another.
But what's funny is every time I see the album cover, I go back to that meme. It is what it is.
Oh yeah.
Every time I see it is what it is. And there's like 6 guys around him saying the same thing. I love that meme.
Yeah.
And that's a good album, for sure. Now, being a child,
I have to think about my honorable mentions. I went through the 3. Like
Right.
three. Yeah, I had my three pretty easy. I was like, yep, I know mine.
Yeah. I would say if we are talking honorable mentions, definitely it is what it is. 1988.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do this. How about three of my top three and then my three honorable mentions? My
Yeah,
third
some
honorable
honorable
mention
mentions,
is definitely Gambino's album 3:15:20,
Mm-hmm.
which people forget came out this year. Even I forgot it. until
Yeah,
I
man, that
looked
was
at it
like right
ago.
during like the pandemic started, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like right around that time.
I mean, he had Ariana Grande on it. He had a ton of artists.
21
and
Savage was on it, I think so.
Right, it was a complete surprise drop.
You didn't even
people-
title the names of the songs.
Right. It was just numbers.
Time signatures, I think. Yeah, time stamps.
and-
Like
The reason I love Thundercats' new album and Gambino's is because Gambino was on Thundercats' album. So every time I think of Thundercat now, I think of, or the It Is What It Is album, I think of Gambino because he was the surprise artist on Black Qualls, which is a very good song off that album. Between that and Dragon Ball Do-Rag, two of my favorite songs off the Thundercat album.
Mm-hmm. Those some good honorable mentions, man. That's some good stuff. I mean, I'm looking through what I have here for like the albums I was really messing with, man. You know, I guess I'd have to say some honorable mentions. I'd throw in Restoration by Lecrae.
Okay.
I would say
Good album.
what's another one? Don Toliver's new album, Heaven or Hell.
Mhm.
And I think I also would have to go with Pop Smoke, Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon.
Yeah.
Those are my three honorable mentions
Sure.
that I'd have to say.
Yeah.
I really am sad that what happened with Pop Smoke. Obviously, rest in peace, Pop Smoke. But that dude really just had it going for him, and it was clear as hell to anybody. Like just the dude's look, the style, everything. Like when I figured out he was 20 years old, hearing how he talked and walked and carried, I was like, dang, Mo. Like, dude, you got
30.
it, bro. You got it. Like you carry yourself like an old dude that's got experience. Like you clearly are about like you're on your way up, and you got to co-sign from 50 Cent and all that stuff. So it's just very sad he got taken away. And I'm happy that the posthumous album was done well, because in the past the posthumous albums have not been done so well.
Have been pretty crap, yeah.
But his posthumous album was great. Juice WRLD's posthumous album was great. Mac Miller's posthumous album was great. So I'm happy that they've made sure to put some respect behind these posthumous projects. You can't mess it up.
And even though
the label wants to get in the way of that.
Even though he's already established, we can also say like Life After Death by Biggie is definitely a very good posthumous album as well.
Oh yeah. So, we're going taking it back. Yeah.
I mean, as long ago as that was, and he was already pretty popular anyway. Obviously, I'll connect it back to that because he's one of my favorites. I even have his Pop Funko figure right over there.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, it's posthumous albums is it's a sad because hip hop, there's been a lot of fatalities and deaths from drugs and it's just etc. And it's very unfortunate to see, and it's sad that we've seen posthumous albums like this. I just feel like
Pop Smoke was even more tragic because it was a gun situation.
Yeah, it was. He was murdered. It's just sad. It was a robbery, and I'm just hoping going into 21 that. And I know this is some people. It's like, oh, this don't say that. But I'm just hoping we can just see more peace in the game and more just unity and less violence, man. I know that sounds crazy, but in these times, man, we need to just get along and figure it out, because shit's already crazy enough with people and unemployment and complaining about stimulus checks and vaccines and when we're gonna get out here back in normal. Can we at least get along in the process and not get too stressed out from it? That's what I want from 2021, not just in the hip hop game, but just amongst the culture and everyone in general. So
I wholeheartedly agree with that. I mean, I am definitely, I've experienced a little bit different thing. I mean, I'm more inclined towards R&B and soul. I don't think the Temptations and the Four Tops were exchanging gunfire in the 60s, or there was like,
I mean, the stats
gang war,
show
right. There was more class back then, and it's just kind of, tragic, especially in Pop Smoke's case where it was at his own house that he had just bought and was like really like he was enjoying his treasures that he had made with his fortunes. I mean, he was definitely going to be the artist to watch. And, you know, even though I didn't really listen to this artist, I mean, King Von as well.
Yeah. R.I.P. King Von. Yeah.
I didn't even know he had music until like I heard a few of his songs. I'm like, oh wow, this guy definitely, if he could have tweaked it a little bit, he would have definitely been on the up and up. And it's like Lil Durk had to literally bury one of his best friends.
Yeah, it's
this year.
Yeah, it's sad, man, and I don't want people becoming numb to this stuff. Like it's normal that artists are this is happening. Like this is not normal. This is not right. We should not be comfortable with this. And it's just something that we got to figure out, man. Because this just got to stop happening. We got to stop seeing these things over and over again. It's on. We got to take it upon ourselves.
Yeah, and people think like Biggie and Pac lived long lives. They were both in their 20s when they got shot. King Von and Pop Smoke were barely in their early 20s. I mean,
yeah. King Von was 26. Pop Smoke was 20. So it's like
there's
young guys, man.
The year, nothing's really changed except just the ages. It's gotten lower.
Yeah,
you know, and it's kind of, you know, it's very sad. It's very tragic. I mean, I felt bad. You know, felt bad that the same when Pop Smoke died, the same as when MF Doom passed. I mean, it's just like Pop Smoke was definitely going to be the name of 2020, and he kind of is, but in a very tragic way. I mean, and what I feel bad about a lot of these artists that have died very young is their posthumous album is their best-selling one because they're dead.
Yeah,
and nothing will bring them back. You know, and it's very tough to see. But at the end, you know, their families are getting taken care of because of the royalties. You know, they're never going to be forgotten, especially in Mac Miller's case. He's never going to be forgotten.
No.
Especially when he was in the midst of his change, where he was being a bit more intimate and he was very face to face with you instead of just being like laid back, Kool-Aid and frozen pizza days, you know. He definitely was changing the game, and you know, but at the end of the day, there's only so much I can really do and say without remembering how this year has been, you know.
No, I mean, and I think just going into this new year, we just have to remember what we've seen from yesterday. And like you said at the beginning of the episode, man, just got to be stronger about it and just to adapt and find ways to just keep things in line. It's really the only way you can go about it. 2020 was a year to strengthen the shell, to strengthen the mind. So that way we can go into 2021 and really take on what we need to take on, man, and make sure that things can just be better, man. And I definitely want to ask you, just before we wrap things up, man, just everything you got going on in the world of Alex Cobra, man, because you always are out here doing stuff with streaming, working on music, you know, filling the people on what's been going on, man, because obviously 2020 was a weird year for any artists, and we all had to move in a certain way. So what's in store with Alex Cobra, man?
Cocaine, various amounts. I
had to do it before the episode. I can't do it now. Matter of fact, was the episode done? Are we almost done?
Are we gonna do 2 more hours of this?
Hold on.
I gotta go back. I gotta go to the bathroom. Yeah. So Anyway, humor. I mean, my humor is definitely not going away.
No, never that, man. Never that, man. No, and any time, humor's great.
It's very interesting. Yeah, I recently just picked up streaming again. I've had a cap card for about a year now, and I was rearranging some of my room, and I was like, oh my god, I forgot I have this. I can actually use this. And I had some time off with, you know, schedules because of the holidays and stuff. So yeah, streaming, I've been getting back to music. It's kind of tough. I mean, still haven't really sat down and really like made a real song. I definitely know my mojo has definitely disappeared. But I'm not saying it's completely gone.
It's never the
case. It will
case.
come back eventually, and I know I got to work towards that, but I feel like
you think like the pandemic has been a contributor to that, because I feel like a lot of inspiration just comes from being outside. Socializing, like
It could be that. It could be that.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
especially
a
with
big thing for me, man. Socializing, just being
Yeah.
with the people is a big inspiration of mine. It's just
Right.
partying is an
And-
inspiration of mine.
Yeah,
I make
going-
great songs after party nights, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Going to a Chinese restaurant right after the Middle East and almost getting kicked out towards the end because we were
you showed up like 10 minutes before the close.
I feel terrible.
That was a funny moment. man.
Trevi, you and I at this Chinese restaurant at like 11:45, 15 minutes before they closed. That was funny.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, a majority of my songs, I mean, you know this, you've listened, have to do
Sure.
with like getting to know girls, getting to know how relationships like that work. I haven't really had that, and I can't think
make up
about
some shit.
a girl that I had feelings for 4 years ago and make a song about it.
Yeah,
Because
it ain't gonna come through the same.
It was
yeah.
bullshit,
Yeah.
like I need to do the weekend approach, get my heart broken and make a banging song right out, like no
right,
problem.
Yeah, right after.
I'd say my
It's
schedule.
like meet a girl. Will you fall in love with me to break my heart so I can write good music?
Listen, I'm not really in it for a long run. I'm just in it for like a year because I got a great album that might.
We need to
come
know
out.
each other very well so that way you can dump me and then the music's gonna be fire. Like, it's like
we're gonna
what the
we're gonna start a relationship now, but then we're gonna convene and make this whole "you cheated on me" thing around Christmas 2022. That's how it's gonna work out.
yeah.
And we're gonna it's gonna hurt, but we'll have fun while it lasts.
Yeah. So just pretend I ever said this and let's start.
Right. Yes. Any conversation we have, I'm writing down.
Yeah,
Even
yeah.
if
Don't mind me.
right. Even if you're going to the store to get milk. Interesting.
Oh
I
my
would-
god, man.
I would say the pandemic definitely has affected that because of, going out, socializing, really living the real life.
For sure, for sure.
I would say my schedule as well. Full-time selling trombones is not entirely sufficient.
Gotta do what you gotta do though, man. You know what I'm saying?
I know
it is what it is.
whoever at my company, we're a pretty big company. So if anyone is watching this, it's a great company. I wish you well. It's just 40-hour weeks. It's just like
Them 40-hour weeks are tough, man. It's really tough. Yeah,
and
it's
especially a young guy like me, it's like it kind of sucks.
yeah, and I mean, obviously, what you do and the pay that you get from that is obviously gonna make you more influenced to like it, to want to adapt to it. But things, you're still a young man. I'm still young too, and I
Great
think
song, by the way, by Tower of Power.
who's it by?
You're still a young man by Tower of Power. Oh, it's a group from the 70s.
Okay, Tower. Okay, I know Tower. Okay. I was like, okay, that's why I was like, what you say? Okay, yeah, but I mean, I didn't even mean to quote them. But
No, I love that song.
yeah, but I think one thing I always remind myself, and just like whenever I'm feeling like shit could just be a little bit better, is like we are still pretty freaking young, man, and I think our generation forgets that a lot of people don't, have life all wrapped up, ready and perfect. Well, perfect, because nothing's perfect. But I feel like a lot of people don't have that shit till they're 30, 31. I have relatives who I'm seeing now who are in their 30s who are doing fantastic. I don't know. I barely know anybody in their 20s who I'm like, damn, you killing it. And especially in the music field. I'm talking about people I personally know in the music field who I'm like, damn, you killing it. Like I only have so many people who are like that, because everybody I know in this music game personally, they ain't just doing the music right now. And a lot of artists don't want to say that, but it's a fact. And I mean, but it's just the way shit goes. Like like to have no other job and solely just doing music, it's gonna be pretty damn apparent. Like you probably are gonna have the blue check somewhere. Like shit's just gonna be apparent, and sure. No one's gonna have to question that. So that's the things you gotta. I would probably say.
Right, and I think the only real thing that I could say has really been improving, and I've invested in pretty well that it's paying off, has been my TikTok and my Instagram.
It's not get done putting out content. Yeah, and I think that's important for artists to keep any form of content going. So.
Right. And, you know, I'm a bit more popular on TikTok than I thought I was a year ago. Than I was a year ago.
Yeah, you're going up to 10K, bro.
Right. And
that's dope.
I got to thank Miles Davis, John Coltrane, and a ton of other jazz artists for letting me use their songs as my content basis, because it's just all jazz talks. It's just
I gotta check out Cobra's TikToks, man. That shit cracks me up, dog.
And I know I've peaked because I've evolved it into soul talk, and I've been putting like Marvin Gaye songs on and a ton of different ones, and I'm still just trying to find my niche. And but my Instagram, you know, a year ago, I put this. You know, those 6 grid apps where you can like put one big photo in 6 different grids, where it said game over on December 31st, 2019.
Yeah.
And then my first post of 2020 was a shit post, like a meme about me. And then from there, it's really just evolved into meme culture, shit posting, occasional few like self-esteem post of me posing in front of like a mountain or something, you know.
So that the people see you. No,
right. And I like making an ass out of myself. I like making people laugh. No better way to do that than on TikTok and Instagram. So
yeah, definitely TikTok. TikTok is popping right now. Man.
Right. And so I'm hoping, you know, 2021 keeps it going at least. And it doesn't like just die off. Because if I die off, then I got to start from the ground again, and I hate the ground.
yeah. Starting from the ground up is tough, man. It's tough.
Right.
It sounds sexy when you're like, I started from the ground up. I came from the gutter. It's like, it sounds cool when you made it, but like the process is a pain, and a lot of people don't express any of the things they went through until it's all said and done. Like I'm thinking of like Obama right now. Mans is on a whole tour with this new book out, explaining all the shit he been through. But you think he could have went through explaining all that in the process? No, we had to wait for everything to settle down to talk about it. So I think I guess I bring that up just to say, with any climb you go up, there's gonna be some struggle that doesn't ever get shed on and people don't talk about. With nothing as it seems. It's everything is, you know, behind the scenes is something that you probably didn't expect. And so I think once people understand that and people are aware of that, which some people aren't, and especially the music game, then they would understand why certain artists can't just put out a project whenever they want, or why certain people just have to move a certain way, because it's not as what you seem it is to be. And that's, yeah. So I definitely would, address that,
No, for sure. It's only the third day of 2021. I know,
right? It's only our third day out here, man.
I gotta get my ass in gear and really see what this year can bring. But I think the first and foremost thing is definitely how to move past, how to continue to thrive while dealing with a pandemic as ravaged as this. So
yeah, man, it's just about just sticking to the guns like we are now, man. And then just because we can't wait for it to be gone and then we do what we do. We got to keep it rolling as the times go on. And I think that's the thing people got to, because I think that's the people are forgetting. It's like, oh, I'm just gonna wait for this to be done. It's like, nah, you gonna fizzle out if you do that. You got to stay in it, keep swimming. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely want to put it on that, man. But I feel like we're coming a little bit over an hour, so I definitely want to end the episode here, man. Get us out of here. But Alex Cobra, I'm always happy to have you on the platform, man. With it being the first episode of 2021, is there any message that you would like to leave for the people? Anything you want to plug for the people before we get out of here? I guess that'll be my new thing with every episode. A message or a plug or anything you want to put on for the people before we get out of here.
Interesting. Wow, I was not expecting that. Okay, I'm really on the spot.
Off the fly. I thought of that now.
Okay. All right, I got you. Cornbread, Boba Fett, Hangman Adam Page. No. That has something to do with the Illuminati.
Fett. Yeah, Boba Fett.
Boba Fett and Hangman Page share cornbread together? No.
Yes.
So I've always kept I will say you have kept my name alive. You've done more for me than I can ever imagine. I'm not just saying this to kiss your ass. I'm not saying this because I have nothing else to say. No,
you ain't that person, man. I appreciate that, man.
Don Rickles, this is what I'll leave with. Don Rickles always said when he would be on like a younger Tonight Show or like Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, stuff like that, he always would say, keep my name alive.
Mm-hmm.
And I like to keep that as well, because with how this world is, MF Doom, even a wrestler by the name of Brody Lee, who died a couple of weeks ago.
R.I.P. Yeah, I heard about that.
I'll say this very blunt. People are dropping like flies. Literally hold your family and friends close, because you never know what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like whatever I've done so far, I hope that other artists out there know that it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, where you've come from, whatever you've come from, whatever's been done before, that you keep continuing it, because if you're going to go for a short-term success and that's it, get out of this business.
Mm-hmm.
I got to learn this as well. Short-term goals help fuel the long-term success. I know I'm not going to get, like on my streaming, I know I'm not going to get 15,000 viewers. It's going to take time.
Yeah, for sure. Mm-hmm.
I got to find my niche. And my friend Dylan has said that very repeatedly in ways that I'll never forget. And I appreciate that. You can't give up on yourself when literally it's up to you. Like, you can't depend on Twitch to help you. You can't depend on Spotify.
No platform is going to be your, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Right. That's just, you can do it yourself without sacrificing your true core. Because if you do that, you're up shit creek without a paddle.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't change yourself just because this app exists. No, you change for yourself.
Yeah.
And you adapt your content to what you want it to be. Same thing what I said about Kid Cudi. You put out what you want to put out. You don't put out what the hell critics want or what some fan in Idaho wants. Who gives a shit?
Mm-hmm.
You can thank your fans, but they're just there. So you gotta remember exactly who you appeal to and work on that. Don't break that trust. Because if you do, again, up shit creek without a paddle.
Yeah. I like that, man. We definitely ended on that note, man.
It sounded very villainous to me. I apologize. I kind of sounded like an ass of that. But hey, R.I.P. Doom. You were the first
Doom, man.
Villain.
Yes, man. So. Hey, man. Great message. R.I.P. Doom. R.I.P. to all the great artists and people and minds that we lost in 2020. And hope in 2021 we can just keep things moving forward and make the world better and make everything better for all of us, man. Because I think we learned from this time to do that.
And definitely protect Betty White. She does not deserve anything. She deserves to pass naturally. She does not deserve any kind of disease or anything. She's a pure woman. Hashtag protect Betty White.
I feel that, man. Alex Cobra, thank you so much for being on episode 85, the first episode of 2021. I really appreciate it, man. It's always a pleasure having you on, man, for real.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much for having me.
For sure, y'all. Episode 85, TempahZone podcast. You already know the vibes, y'all. Make sure we tune in for another one, all right? Peace out.